Hi YouTubers and wet shavers everywhere, it's FarmerGeorge2.com. I'm back with another Monday morning mailbag. Get yourself a cup of coffee, kick back, relax, let's talk a little wet shaving and a few other things. What do you got this morning? I got an old friend, hang on. Yeah, oh yeah, that's good. I got 8 o'clock coffee this morning. Just a great, basic, mild yet somewhat robust cup of coffee. Great flavor. Just an old friend, a good standby. I like it a lot. And I've got my yellow Labrador coffee mug this morning. You can see the steam coming off. It's a good hot cup of coffee there. And of course, yeah, I had Labradors growing up, Labrador Retrievers, great dogs, and a little bit of information on the breed of dog here on the back of the mug, and a nice big coffee mug this morning. I mean, this is a really big mug. Haven't used it in a while. Man, I like that a lot. Well, I hope everyone had a really great Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and today is Cyber Monday, so I hope to be tweeting out some Cyber Monday deals as I come across them. Hopefully we'll see some wet shaving gear intermingled with all that too. That would be really, really wonderful. So before we get to some of the questions today, had a few comments regarding the previous Monday morning mailbag. So let's go back for a refill. Okay, so this comment comes from Nicholas Woodhouse, and it's in regards to the discussion we had last time around regarding shaving soaps. And he writes, Tabak is my favorite as well. Superb performance, and the scent reminds me of being a kid in the barbershop with my father on a Saturday morning. Yeah, me too. Those are great memories. The aftershave and balm are wonderful. I have not tried the aftershave or balm. It's on my list. I really need to try those because I love the Tabak scent. By the way, the soap container isn't ceramic, but glass. It's called milk glass, and it's made by adding bone ash to the heavy glass mix. It's a Renaissance invention. Pretty cool, I think. I didn't know that. I did not know that, but that's one of the things that attracted me also to the Tabak shave soap was this milk glass container. And of course the loose lid that goes on there. And it just looks great on the counter. It's very functional. I can get a shave brush in there very easily to load it so I can do a face lather. Tabak was an absolute game changer for me. Sure, I used the Williams, I used the Vanderhagen. Vanderhagen was probably something very early on when I came back to the traditional wet shave that really gave me a good shaving experience. But Tabak, and even this scent just right now, is wonderful. Tabak was the product that really took my shave to the next level. I would say I was really glad to find this. That's what I want to say. Was really glad to find this. And again, it just created that rich, creamy, thick, protective lather with nice glide that we all long for when we're first doing the traditional wet shave. And Tabak gave that to me. And of course, the other shave soaps out there that really up the bar in the same category as Tabak, in my humble opinion, were the Paraso brands. These were, what, $10 for a tub like this? The menthol and eucalyptus, the Paraso green, and also the sensitive formula. This especially was great for me because my skin does border on the sensitive side. And if you do have sensitive skin, you've just come back to the traditional wet shave, or you're starting it for the first time, and you're looking for a shave soap that isn't going to, well, at least for me, this didn't irritate my skin. This didn't give me any nicks or cuts. Gave me a lot of nice protection. This was really a good choice. And of course, the green has a nice menthol kick to it, menthol and eucalyptus kick. And of course, the red has a very traditional sandalwood scent. So you got three great choices in shave soaps right there. There has been a question regarding Paraso Blue. Paraso Blue comes in a shaving cream tube, and I have not tried that yet. I wish they had it in a tub of shave soap, because then I would try it right away, because I like to do a face lather. But I can also do face lathers with shave creams as well. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Tabak is wonderful. I appreciate the information on the milk glass. That's really a neat little piece of history. Thanks very much, Nicholas. I really do appreciate it. Also, Carl Pennington wrote, I just picked up the Captain's Choice hand-hammered copper bowl and love it. I do have a quick question. What makes a good bowl lathering brush and what makes a good face lathering brush? I've noticed most face latherers tend to lean towards badger brushes for face feel, and most bowl latherers lean to synthetic and boar brushes. My knot of choice is a nice badger brush. I do like synthetic knots. I do have a good mixture of badger and synthetic brushes. Well, Carl, this was regarding our discussion on shave bowls and the size of the bowl and getting a shaving brush into the bowl. That kind of thing right there. And I started out with badger brushes. As a matter of fact, I think the first badger brush I got was from The Art of Shaving. This one right here. And I believe this was $60. This was a very expensive brush. What did I know at the time? And I thought it was good. I used the badger brushes mostly for bowl lathering. I didn't do a lot of face lathering with badger brushes at all. It was just part of the process, part of the learning process, trying to understand the process, and it seemed to work well because for me, a badger brush works best when painting on the lather, just painting it on. I've never really used a badger brush to have it splay out and open up and do a face lather. For that, I have used boar brushes, but really synthetic brushes for me have been absolute game changers. And this one right here, the Fire Mare by Vikings Blade, this has been an absolutely wonderful synthetic brush. The reason why I like it is because it has a synthetic knot that feels like badger hair. It gives me the badger hair feel. And the technology that goes into these synthetic brushes is getting better and better by the week, by the month. The synthetic brush that you buy today is going to be very, very good. It's going to be exceptional. But the synthetic brush that you buy maybe a month or two from now is going to be even better because the technology is just becoming better, more refined, a better understanding of it. And when I first used this brush, I had to go back to the product page and make sure that I bought a synthetic brush. I thought this was a real badger brush. It's synthetic. Another great line of synthetic brushes come from Phoenix Shaving. The latest one right here, the Amber Aerolite. This is another terrific, this is a synth hybrid knot, I believe is what they call it. This is another terrific, terrific synthetic knot. Now, the reason why I talk about synthetic brushes so much is because I'm using them across the board exclusively for face lathering, for bowl lathering, lathering up on my head when I do a head shave. I am not using a badger brush at all anymore. I don't think I use I can't tell you the last time I used a badger brush. Now, granted, the badger brushes I have both this one from Vikings Blade and this one from Art of Shaving, and I think I have a couple of others that are really low end. But I think the quality of the hairs in these are good, middle of the road, and I've never really used a high-end badger brush like a silver tip, something that Simpson would sell for say $150, $200. I've never used that, so I can't really comment on the performance of that kind of brush in regards to a bowl lathering, face lathering, that sort of thing. But the performance I've gotten from synthetic brushes have been so wonderful and so good and so consistent, I don't use my badger brushes anymore. And they're good badger brushes, I just don't use them anymore. I use the synthetic brushes. Every once in a while, I'll pull out a boar brush, and you can see I don't have a boar brush here because even for setting up for this video, I'm pulling out my synthetic brushes to show you my synthetic brushes. I use them all the time. And I do a lot of face lathering. I do some bowl lathering, but mostly face lathering. I just like getting putting some hot water on there, dumping it off into the sink, wetting my face, maybe doing a pre-shave soap or oil or something like that, and just loading this brush up, loading it up, getting a good load, and then just start to face lather. I love that process, and these synthetic brushes work wonderfully well for it. So whether it's bowl lathering or face lathering, for me, it's a synthetic brush. The synthetic brushes are absolutely wonderful. And again, I have to give you a disclaimer. I cannot compare the performance of a synthetic brush like this to a real high-end Badger brush. I just can't make that distinction for you because I don't have a top-end Badger brush. But really, the kind of performance that these synthetic brushes give me, and for the price that they're being sold for, a good synthetic brush, in my opinion, goes anywhere from about $18 up to about $30, $32, somewhere in that price range. Maybe a few dollars less or more depending on the size of the handle, the style of the handle, that kind of thing. Why would I want to spend $200 for a high-end Badger brush when these are giving me such great performance at such an affordable price? That's just the way I look at it. I really do love synthetic brushes. So I do all my bowl lathering, all my face lathering with synthetic brushes. And it's been a long time since I've used a Badger brush in my shave brush collection, and it's probably been infrequent that I've used my boar brushes. The boar brushes are good, but I love the synthetic brushes because it gives me a great, consistent lather every single time, whether I'm using it as a face latherer or a bowl latherer. So that's kind of the long and short of it, Carl. Thanks very much for that. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so let's get to some of these questions. The first one comes from Frank Santora. Well, it's actually more of a comment, and he left it in the second review I did on the Parker 96 twist to open razor. This is the one where the entire handle here turns, and it gave a good, mild, close shave. Parker 96R. Nice razor, nice razor. And he wrote, "It would be great to see you do a coffee talk on the best adjustables." Well, I do have some of my adjustables lined up here, and I'm happy to show them to you this time around. Just very, very briefly. Probably one of the first adjustables I got was the Merkur Progress. This is a two-piece adjustable razor. It adjusts from 1 to 5, I believe. It has this great vintage kind of plastic off-white knob that it's very reminiscent of German automobiles from the 1950s. If you see the dashboards, it's this kind of material there. And I don't think they've changed this design since they released this razor, I think in the 1950s. But again, two-piece razor like that. And there's an inner barrel that comes out, and you can clean out the inside of it. And it's a very, very good adjustable razor. I enjoy using this, although, again, if you get to the higher end of this, it becomes a little too aggressive for me. So I tend to use this at about 2.5 or 3 downward. And it's a very, very nice adjustable razor. The other Merkur adjustable razor that I purchased, and I think I purchased this secondhand as well, I'm not sure, is the Merkur Futur. Boy, this is terrific. A lot of wet shavers don't regard this as a razor so much as a shaving instrument. It really has that kind of vibe to it. And it is a, I guess you call it a two-piece razor. The top cap comes off like this, and you adjust it by turning the entire handle, much like the Parker 96R. This entire handle here turns to adjust the blade gap. And the only downside to this, well, two downsides. Some regard the shaving head to be a little too large and cumbersome to get into some tight areas, say underneath the nostrils. and they find it to be a little unwieldy, hard to maneuver. I haven't found that too much. There are a couple tips and tricks I use to get into those tighter areas. I like the weight. It's a smooth handle, but this indentation here seems to give you a good sure grip. And the other downside to it is actually adjusting it. If you grasp it on the ends here, as most wet shavers would do, to adjust it, and if your fingers are slick, it's going to slip off, and look, you're going to catch your fingers on the edge of that razor blade. So I do it one of two ways. I either take a towel and put a towel over that and adjust it that way, or I'll just hold it to the palm of my hand and I'll turn it this way like this. And I always make sure to dry off my hands while I'm using this razor so it's not that slippery. You can also use the alum block trick. Rub your fingers, wet fingers, on an alum block, and it makes them a little stickier, so that smooth handled razors are a little more, you have a little more assurance of a grip after you put some alum on your fingertips. But this is a terrific razor. Very expensive. I think it starts at about $70 depending on the plating that you get. So if you want to try this out without spending a lot of money, you can get its clone, the Q-Shave. Pretty darn close shaving experience, depending on who you talk to. The quality control on these could be all over the map. Mine has a little bit of blade imbalance that's not too noticeable. Not as heavy as the Merkur Futur, but you know, a nice way to try out a Futur razor without spending a lot of money. You can get these for 10 bucks, 20 bucks, depending on where you go. eBay, Amazon, AliExpress, and it'll give you an idea of what the Merkur Futur feels like. If anything, it'll let you know what how the razor head size feels when you shave with it. So if you don't like it, you're not out a lot of money. It's not like buying a $70 razor and saying, gee whiz, I don't like this. You can buy this for $10 to $20 and say, well, okay, set it aside and maybe come back to it. You won't feel too bad about spending $10 or $20 and not really enjoying how it shaves, versus spending $70 and up and saying, gee whiz, I don't like how it shaves. So that's kind of the perspective on that. The next adjustable razor, the Parker variant. This is very similar to the Merkur Progress. This one has a little longer handle. Of course, this is a standard size Progress. They do make a longer handled Progress. But it's the same design. It is a two-piece razor, just like the Parker. And it gives a very similar shave. Someone should say that this shave is a little smoother than the Merkur Progress. You know, your miles may vary. Again, I tend to use it on the low end. It adjusts from 1 to 5 like the Progress, and I tend to use it at 2.5, 3, down towards the milder end. And it's very efficient. It gives me a really wonderful smooth shave and nice weight. I like the knurling on it, more of a traditional knurled handle versus the Progress, which has, oh, I guess some piping and flat sides to it. Different kind of handle. Good grip, but this is a more traditional knurled handle, more traditional grip. Has a more traditional look. The knob is knurled and you know, that sort of thing. So this is a very, very good choice too. I enjoy using this razor. It's very good. Parker makes a nice razor. The next razors are in the adjustable line are probably my favorite. These are the Vikings Blade Emperor line of razors and the Crusader line of razors. Boy, these are just terrific. The Emperor razors have a nice long handle, but not overly long. They have a nice wide diameter or larger diameter handle, terrific heft. They are twist to open. They adjust from 1 to 9. They have a dual comb. That is, one side is a sculpted comb and the other side is straight bar. And that way you can just vary the shave just a little bit. So you can go from one side to the other. One side's a little more aggressive than the other side. Or you can use it like a traditional double-edged razor and just flip it back and forth. I use it both ways. Both ways work wonderfully well. I tend to use this razor at about, just from 1 to 9. So I tend to start at about 5, maybe 6, and then work my way down. And I get these beautiful 3-pass BBS shaves with this razor. Say starting at 5.5, then moving it down to 4, then finishing up at 2. I got a beautiful 3-pass BBS shave with this particular Emperor Frosted Chrome razor. Comes in a couple of different finishes. The Crusader is similar to the Emperor in that the razor head is the same. It's just that it has a little longer handle, as you can see, and the handle's a little more slender. I like this knurling pattern on both of these, and again a very assured adjustment collar here, numbered from 1 to 9, twist to open. This is another terrific razor, and again sculpted side, straight bar side. Absolutely love these razors. They're just love them, just absolutely love them. They also make the Emperor Mmmb razor, and you can see right here that the sculpted bar in the Crusader here is just a little different, than what we have on the Emperor. So that's another difference that is there. But both give terrific shaves. The Mmmb is a short-handled version of the Emperor. So you can see it's shorter. This thing's built like a little tank. And again, 1 to 9, twist to open. If you want a shorter handled razor that has some terrific heft, very robust, very solid, this is the razor for you, and it gives an absolutely wonderful shave. So the Vikings blade, Emperor, and Crusader razors, I absolutely love them. They give terrific shaves. And if you're looking for a gift for the wet shaver in your life, or maybe yourself, check out the Vikings blade adjustable razors, because I think they're really very good. And we can't wrap this up without saying anything about the vintage adjustable razors. I happen to have 2 models. I have the Gillette Slim, which dates from the 1960s. I don't know how long they made this. This adjusts from 1 to 9, and it kind of clicks through the settings. Okay? So it's not a smooth, continuous adjustment like these other modern adjustable razors. But the nice thing is once you drop the blade in and you adjust it, let's say you're adjusting it to 8, okay? Once you close the doors, you give it a quarter turn to lock everything in place. So everything's locked in place, so you're assured that there's not going to be any slippage of the blade or in the handle, that sort of thing. That's a really nice design quality of the razor. I tend to use these again at about level 5 downward. My understanding is that Gillette made 3 models of safety razors, a blue tip, a silver tip, and a red tip. The blue tip was mild, the silver tip was medium, and the red tip was aggressive. So the settings here, 1, 2, and 3 are blue tip type settings. 4, 5, and 6 are silver tip, and 7, 8, and 9 would be regarded as red tip settings on this adjustable razor. That's the way I've heard it on other YouTubers who've done videos and in wet shaving forums. So I tend to use this in 4, 5, and 6, and then downward into the mild area, because that's where I like my shaves. I happen to have my father's original Super Speed, and that is a nice, mild, efficient shave, mid-aggression shave. I like that, and that's where I keep this adjustable razor. These are great. You can find these on eBay for about, $25, $30 sometimes. Terrific. They're plentiful because they made these for so many years. There are probably hundreds of thousands of these out there, if not millions. And they come in a variety of conditions. And also, you can also go to a place like the Razor Emporium, and if you find one that's in pretty good shape and you want it tuned up and cleaned, they can do that for you also. I'll have a link to their storefront below where you can see their services. And they are very well regarded in the wet shaving community. And if you've ever seen the Razor Emporium YouTube channel and Matt Pisarcik talk about the history of Gillette, really, that is the go-to source if you want to know about the Gillette Slim and some of these other vintage Gillette razors out there. A wealth of knowledge. And also here is the Gillette Fat Boy, which predates the Gillette Slim. And you can see this a little difference. Has a little thicker handle, a little shorter also. Again, all the qualities of the Gillette Slim, only the handle is a little thicker, a little shorter, adjustment collar is a little different. And again, clicks through from 1 to 9. Okay, twist to open, close the doors, give it a quarter turn twist to lock everything in place. This one was given to me by viewer Jim from Northfield, and thank you again, Jim. Can't thank you enough for that. So yeah, this is another really terrific adjustable razor. However, these are in demand. They only made them for about maybe 3 years, I think, and then moved to the Gillette Slim line. So there are a lot of them out there, not as many as I would say the Slim, but they're in demand and they're very prized. So you're probably going to pay a little more for these. Sometimes, once in a blue moon, you might hit on one. I think viewer, I think it was Tim Whitcup. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. I think he got one for $35 in wonderful shape. Wow. Ordinarily, from the photos I saw, that'd probably be a $100 razor, $150 razor, somewhere in there. But yeah, you can find deals on these. Check antique stores, check yard sales, check garage sales, estate sales. You never know when you might find one of those, a Fat Boy that someone had and kept in impeccable condition and is in really, really good shape. This one's in really terrific shape, really. This one is in beautiful, beautiful shape. The only thing it has is a little bit of a lazy door right there. See that door? And then I have to open that a little bit. But that's okay. I don't mind that. I'm keeping it that way. It gives it a little bit of charm, in my opinion. And also, in the morning, early morning hours, when I'm just waking up after my shower, and if I happen to grab this and I open the doors, I know it's the Fat Boy. Whereas on my Slim, I have 2 Slims. If I open it up, the doors open all the way. And that's one way of telling me that I've got the Slim or the Fat Boy. Because by themselves, if it's early in the morning like that, and you're just waking up, sometimes you don't know which is which, because they can look similar if they're separated and not side by side. All right, so thanks very much for that, Frank. I hope that helps. Okay, so this next comment comes from Ian Halifax, and it's also about razor blades. And he wrote, "Just a thought. I find mild blades to be rougher generally. We think we're getting nicks and cuts from using an aggressive blade. When I think about it, the more mild the blade, the more cuts you'll get. I've experimented with this over the last few months, and from pillar to post, I get cut more times than not by quote-unquote mild razor blades, and it makes sense when you consider that a sharp blade is more efficient. Less passes, less cleanup, not going over the same spot 10 times, trying to get a good shave. Just a thought and only my opinion." Well, Ian, thanks very much for that. It's another way of looking at it. I tend to favor a mild shave, mild razors, or razors that are on the mild end of the spectrum. And I like using sharp blades that I guess are labeled mild, but they're smoother. Maybe it's the coating that are on the blade edges that smooth it out a little bit for me. There are some razor blades that are marked stainless that don't say anything about a coating. Those tend to be a little more aggressive, have a little more of an edge or a roughness to them. And I guess it all depends on your skin type and your beard type. As I've always said, my skin type borders on the sensitive side, so I tend to keep things on the mild end. Something like the Vikings blade, mild razor blades, for me, are nice and smooth. They're sharp, but they give me a good, smooth shave. Same thing with the Astra. These Astras are probably a little sharper, but still, they give me a nice, smooth shave. I think it's because of the platinum coating. It says Superior Platinum double-edge razors. I think it has something to do with that. Again, the Derby Premium, these have a chromium, tungsten, platinum coating on it that I think smooths things out for me. The Lord Platinum, same way with these. It has some kind of coating on there that smooths things out for me. However, the Parker blades that are stainless steel and are supposed to be premium platinum, I found these to be a little rougher, a little more aggressive, a little more edge than some of these others. Gave a good shave, but the others were smoother. So I think maybe a lot of us, at least I do, when I talk about a mild shave, perhaps I'm talking more along the lines of a smoother shave. Now, everyone knows probably the sharpest blade out there, or one of the sharpest blades out there, is the Feather. The Feather are incredibly, incredibly sharp. And some people think these are downright dangerous. They're so sharp. And really, the only razor that I use the Feather blade in is this one here, which is my Godfather Stonehenge razor from Vikings blade. This offers a very mild shave. The end tabs are enclosed in the razor head, which is something else that I like about it. Nice weight, good heft, but delivers a really, really mild, smooth shave. So this is probably the only razor that I've ever used a Feather blade in, because I think the others, not being as tamed as this, so to speak, would probably unleash the real aggressive animal in this blade, at least for my skin. I'm thinking that the only other razor I could possibly use these Feather blades in, and I have not, at least I don't recall I've used it, is the Merkur HD34C, because this offers a mild shave as well. And I've often talked about the shaving angle of this being a little narrower than some other razors, so you have to be really spot on in order to get the highest efficiency. And I'm thinking that the Feather blade would probably increase the efficiency a little bit of this and give me a nice shave. So I'm probably going to use that down the road, maybe even do a video just to show that in this particular razor. But yeah, I think it's your mileage may vary, but that is I think that's a very good theory, and it might very well be true. Maybe we should be using sharper blades and we'll get better shaves. I don't know. But thanks very much for that, Ian. I really appreciate it. I'm interested in knowing what the other viewers think. Are you using a really, really sharp blade, or are you using something that's a little milder? So let me know in the comments below. Thanks again, Ian. And finally, wrapping up, this next one comes from James Lindsay, and he writes, Mark, do you have any tips and or advice on the best and easiest way to blacken the numbers on the Fat Boy and Slim adjustable dials? James, I just got done talking about the Fat Boy and the Slim, so this fits in very, very well. And he is referring to these numbers right here on those dials there. And when you get these originally, they are black. I don't know if you can see that because of the lighting here. They have a nice black coating inside. It's almost like the numbers are actually etched in there, actually machined in, and then there's a nice black coating that's in the groove of the number, so to speak, on the Slim and also on the Fat Boy. The ones on my Fat Boy are a little more still have a nice blackness to them. And I've never worked on these razors before, but again, Razor Emporium Matt Pisarcik has an absolutely wonderful video tutorial on how to do this. So if you want to restore the black in the numbers on your adjustment dial, check out that video tutorial. I'll link it below. It really is very, very informative. And James told me that he used it and it worked really, really well. He went up, he looked at the tutorial, he bought the recommended tools and paint and whatnot, and he said it worked really, really well. So that was great to hear. All right, that's it. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Please share, please subscribe, please like. Hit that bell so it'll give you a yell the next time I upload a video. Comment below, let me know. Check out the Executive Shaving Company. Use the code MARK5. Check out my blog, georgetoon.com/blog for my comic strip George, other cartoons, other videos like this. I'm on Facebook. Check out my Facebook page. Check out Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements for some great, great shaving gear. Check out my Amazon product page at amazon.com/shop/marks80, where you'll find all the products I review on this channel, organized and categorized so you can find everything in a snap very easily. I'll leave you with this laugh. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Make it a great week.